cut off from the scene after the power couple. Music 50 Cent often mentions moniker took off, not just former partners. Individuals such as Damon Dash act as a flashback to a period before the clean image was completely solidified. 50 Cent suggests that in order for the corporate Hob music to function peacefully, those who were aware of the true Hoff music had to be expelled. Jay-Z is desperately attempting to conceal this covert connection to the past. Any deviation is considered a matrix error because their live script is so tightly controlled. Remember the Lyft incident? The world saw it as a shocking music family dispute. But for 50 Cent, it was one of those cases where the cover failed. It gave a glimpse of the difficult realities of maintaining $1 billion music dollars. When your marriage is your biggest music business asset, Facati, you cannot afford to be forthright and honest in public. 50 Cent claims that Jay-Z's impact currently stems from his capacity to maintain fans. The press and even other musicians are all buying into the delusion instead of his music. He says that this deception's stress is what leads to these errors. Additionally, 50 Cent implies that there is a darker aspect to these clandestine industrial partnerships. He goes on to say that the covert interactions involve a level of gatekeeping that borders on exploitation. In the struggle to hold on to the throne, certain artists are suppressed. Others are commended for their willingness to maintain the Carter's status in music. The system that uses a queen to protect a monarch who may have done atrocities in secret, that the people would never forgive, is criticized in this work. It is more than just a rivalry between two rappers. Music 50 Cent is essentially asserting that Jay-Z is concealing his own darkness beneath Beyoncé's music brilliance. A dot. Their communication style is also infused with deceit. A band of music, every lyric, Instagram post, and spontaneous public appearance is examined by image specialists. 50 Cent parodies this by regularly, highlighting the lack of realism in their music surroundings for an empty seat at a table that never belonged to him. He notices a man who has traded his soul. Snorts Jay-Z wants to be considered on par with the elite. But 50 Cent reminds us that you are only as good as the secrets you can keep in these kinds of circles. According to 50's, the covert connections with millionaires and IT titans are just more covers of music. The blueprint of deceit is both a modern branding masterpiece and a prison. 50 Cent believes that Jay-Z can no longer be himself because he chose to live under a false identity. It's all a deal. Every relationship is strategic. Music lifting the curtain on this exchange, it queries the listener's music to reflect on why they are so absorbed in what may be a completely fabricated story. Music as aspirational material. Even their most intimate moments are packaged and sold back to the fans. As this first part of the expose ends, the idea that the royals are untouchable starts to change. Rather, music we witness to astute strategists who recognized early on that you needed a mask to win the world. As 50 Cent continues to drop his truth bombs, the walls of this stronghold are starting to tremble music. But music is the best disguise for a wonderful marriage. Jay-Z's covert relationships, which were once his greatest strength, are now becoming his greatest downfall. As the game changes, the man who never cared about popularity is now willing to expose the Queen's husband's actual character. Music, this industry-wide chess match, shifts the emphasis from the why to the how. As we explore in-depth music, the inner workings of what 50 Cent calls a shadow kingdom, there are more than two well-known individuals involved in this. The Jay-Z and Beyoncé brand is kept at the top of the heap by a network of institutional gatekeepers and silent partners who have an interest in music. The main, according to 50, music sent at the highest echelons of the music industry. Skill is a secondary currency. Music, the primary currencies are loyalty and secrecy. He makes references to a future where major business deals, streaming numbers, music, and even the uniform praise from critics are all the consequence of a prearranged agreement made in private meetings music where the public is never asked to include. The media music tycoons, hedge fund managers, and lawyers who saw in Jay-Z a guy music ready to embody a new, polished style of corporate hip-hop are these silent partners. The reputation of his wife's worldwide music stardom keeps him safe and protected. 50 Cent's irritation stems from a particular kind of hypocrisy. He has often music talked about how he was penalized for his unadulterated honesty, while others were rewarded for their calculated silence. In this shadow, thus, a secret romance is more than simply a love affair. It's a backroom deal where a big scandal music is hidden in return for a rich contract. According to 50 Cent, KZ's music capacity to manage these challenging compromises is more significant than his poetic ability. According to him, the power couple machine gets activated anytime a younger, eager musician starts to gain too much ground or when a reality about the darker side of the industry threatens music. A major announcement of an international tour, a surprise record release, or a well-publicized private family moment can all take the oxygen out of the room. Music, it ensures that the same two people will be in power year after year and acts as a calculated distraction. The most controversial part of this shadow empire, however, is the storyline surrounding the awards for music sales. 50 Cent has been vocal about his opinion that major award shows are just exclusive trade music shows. Hargs that Beyoncé's opulent trophy room is the industry's way of thanking Jay-Z for being its most reliable spokesman. The system is advantageous to both parties, in return for the award shows getting the prestige and ratings that come with their attendance. The Carters get the recognition they need to keep their corporate cover music. This is the ultimate cultural treachery in 50 Cent's opinion. The little guy would never have a chance music in his idealized society because a few people have rigged music at the highest level. Only Jay-Z and Beyoncé can win. This empire's complexity is even more exacerbated by 50 Cent's frequent allusions to covert connections with other ladies in his lyrics. For many years, Jay-Z has lived a parallel existence in wealthy social circles where music influence is traded like a commodity, he claims. For these stories to ever music escape the mainstream media, the Beyoncé cover is just too powerful. The media outlets who rely on the pair's availability for interviews and photos, music, are terrified of being prohibited. They thus turn into music silent partners, maintaining the image of a perfect marriage. Music 50 Cent is essentially attacking the entertainment media in general, saying that they act as a man's public relations department while hiding a more complex and potentially evil music side of himself. The shadow empire also includes the digital realm. Music 50 Cent has talked about the idea of created hype a lot. Music, he questions why certain artists seem to have billions of streams and perfect social media engagement while others, who are clearly more culturally important, do not receive the same level of attention. In order to keep music the power couple at the top of every feed, he mentions music, the unsung heroes of the computer business who have the capacity to alter algorithms. 50 Cent believes that music is the modern-day Poliola, with any voice that challenges the status quo being muffled by this digital gatekeeping. Jay-Z has dominated the narrative in both the digital and physical realms, less 50 Cent, creating an almost impregnable music castle, an unstoppable man with nothing to lose platform. Their culture of exploitation is another problem with these covert music interactions. 50 Cent suggests music, like that the industry's elite regularly misuse their position of authority under the guise of mentoring. Power to music dominate upcoming performers, especially women. According to him, music, the power couple stereotype, acts as a smokehock screen, creating the appearance that the company is a safe and welcoming music environment. Yet the same exploitative methods are still being employed. Music Beyoncé and Jay-Z by pretending to be the first 50 Cent believes that the hip-hop family legitimizes a system that is fundamentally corrupt and defective. The public is being urged to recognize the shadow empire for what it is, a mechanism designed to protect a chosen few music at the other people's expense. When we look at the silent partners who have helped Jay-Z rise, A pattern of convenience becomes apparent. Control is more important to these music partners than music itself. They require a figurehead who can move in order to keep the populace happy while the real riches is being transferred music in the background. Between the boardrooms and the streets, music with equal ease. 50 Cent is a direct danger to this bargain. Exposés expose the fixers, the people whose only duty it is to make sure that Jay-Z's financial transactions and covert affiliations are never revealed to the public. He is making the gatekeepers visible. Who decide who gets to sit at the table and who cleans the internet of any negative content? This part of the story clarifies that the throne is a place of power rather than an honorable one. 50 Cent claims that Beyoncé is the secret that makes Jay-Z's massive business illusions seem believable. Without her, the cover wouldn't operate, and music the shadow empire would have to confront the brutal truth of existence. This explains why the industry puts so much effort into maintaining its good name. It concerns the billions of dollars of wealth that rely on song that isn't about them personally, and the public's acceptance of the power couple concept. As 50 Cent music continues to hammer away at the foundation of this company, the silent partners are starting to feel nervous. The throne is starting to look more like a prison than a kingdom. The covert partnerships are being discussed in higher tones, and the deals are being scrutinized. The shift from the blueprint to the empire shows that this is not just a personal resentment, but a struggle for the industry's essence. By doing this 50 Music, Cent is positioning himself to overthrow the shadow kingdom and expose the music. Silent partners. He is speculating that the audience is finally ready to see what music occurs when the cover is revealed, revealing that the truth of the song has greater power than any publicity campaign. The next stage music of this fight is when the diamond finally starts to fall apart due to its own secrets, is more concerned with the psychological and emotional effects than with reasoning or business. As the momentum of this exposure shifts into a considerably more chaotic phase, the industry's psychological walls begin to crumble under the burden of ongoing scrutiny. Music. This is the diamond's fracture, as we call it. The 50 Cent strategy has progressed beyond just talking business. Music. He is now trying to discredit the Carter administration by highlighting the fatigue of maintaining a facade that has been upheld for decades. Legacy in and of itself suggests that since gatekeepers can no longer silence every witness or manipulate every story, we are witnessing the climax of a masterfully music-created hallucination. The deadliest enemy of secret relationship methods music is the internet era. For the first time in his career, 50 Cent observes that Jay-Z's music seems more reactive than proactive. The man who formerly moved in music, total stillness, now lives in a world where every cryptic meme or social media post from a rival as many as 50 Cent poses issues that no public relations professional can effectively handle. Music using his position, the psychological warfare is the primary focus here. The mainstream media is too afraid to confront the issues that 50 Cent's music is bringing to light. He mentions the missing historical people, individuals who were music present when the empire was established but were disregarded when the image of the power couple became more important. Music. He argues that these people are the ones who hold the real secrets and that they were bought off with the promise of inclusion or the fear of being left out. However, when the entrenched power structures in the music industry begin to disintegrate, that fear is beginning to fade. Essentially, in the background, 50 Cent is letting everyone know that talking is acceptable. The marriage's cover is no longer a bulletproof music vest, he is hinting. The target is now it. 50 Cent requests that his followers look past the immaculate Instagram music photos of yachts and private aircraft and instead think upon the clinical side of their public engagements. Music as the narrative delves into the idea of a corporate boardroom marriage. He discusses a partnership that is more like a non-disclosure agreement than a romantic one. Music asserts that Jay-Z's covert connections outside of this